Hey guys, I'm Alex.
And I'm Vitor.
What are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to be talking about a super important topic that's going to help you design better, more ethical products. We're talking accessibility in UX and product design. If this is your first time hearing about accessibility or you don't know too much about it, don't worry, we got you covered.
If you're interested in continuing the conversation or want to learn more, comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for your weekly dose of everything UX.
All right, let's get started.
If you're in the user experience, product design, or digital web space, you've probably heard the term accessibility used at some point at work. And if you're just getting started, this is a great opportunity to learn a bit about universal and ethical design. But what does it actually mean for something to be accessible, and why should we be designing with accessibility in mind?
In its simplest form, accessibility questions how accessible is the product or design. Or in other words, can the product be used by everyone, regardless of how they come across it?
But wait, are you saying that people won't use my app the way I want them to?
Well, yes and no. Think about it like this. It's a sunny day and you're outside barbecuing with your family. You're expecting a very important message from your best friend, so you keep your phone handy just in case they reach out. Finally, you feel your phone buzz, but when you look at your phone, you can barely read the screen because of the sunlight. Even with the brightness turned all the way up, the only way you're finding what that message says is to run inside to the shade. So what's going on here? Well, the sunlight is affecting the contrast of the phone screen, making it harder to see. So even if you have perfect vision, the bright sun has reduced your visibility and overall functional accessibility of your device.
This brings us to another very important point. Traditionally, when we hear about accessibility, we hear it in relation to users with disabilities. However, accessibility does not equal disability. Instead, accessibility is about universal design. It's about creating products that everyone can and should have access to functionally. This includes users with disabilities. When you design products with accessibility in mind, you end up creating experiences that are better for everyone. Here's another example. In terms of mobility and accessible design, what's the difference between a user who's mechanically impaired, say they lost an arm, or a mother holding her newborn baby? Both individuals will have a more difficult time navigating a mobile website on their phones because their mechanical mobility, from only having one free hand, is reduced. Conducting research and designing through the lens of accessibility will help you improve the user experience of the products you create for all users. And that should always be the goal.
There are plenty of resources on the web on accessibility guidelines, but the most important one is the WCAG, or the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. The WCAG is a set of guidelines created by the World Wide Web Consortium that outlines international standards for making the internet more accessible. These guidelines are a great resource for making sure that your products are accessible and follow the best design practices. It's also important to familiarize yourself with these rules, as breaking too many may get you or your company into legal trouble for failing to comply with internet accessibility standards. Yoicks. Okay, so now you know what accessibility is and where you can learn more about it after this video. But how do you make sure that your stakeholders, product managers, and anyone else working with you also comply with these guidelines? First, you should avoid becoming the self-appointed accessibility police. That helps no one, and it might affect your office popularity as well as your shot at advocating for accessibility in design. Instead, aim to introduce accessibility thinking as early into the design process as possible.
When conducting exploratory research, remember to stop and take a moment to think outside of your point of view. Bring in your product owners and managers to help explore different use cases. That will also help you gain buy-in and support from them on your work. This would be a great time to employ some empathy to gain some new perspective. Maybe test on users with limited or reduced capabilities to see how they might interact with your product. We promise you that you will definitely learn something unexpected. And make sure that, at a minimum, your design follows both the WCAG guidelines as well as best design practices. If you have stakeholders that push back, remind them that a better user experience that can be accessed by more users generally leads to increased revenue. And this is usually the best selling point for business-minded stakeholders. In this case, what is better for the user is literally better for the business.
Well guys, that's it for today's video. We hope you learned a little bit more about this super important topic. Today's video was a high-level overview and introduction into accessibility, but we would love to continue the conversation in the comments.
Let us know how you or your team approach inclusive design or some blockers you might have experienced. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little bell to be notified every time we post new content. Thanks for stopping by. Your support means the world to us.
Now go out there and solve some people puzzles.